Definitely. On Guam is the problem of invasive species. After World War II, the brown tree snake arrived as a stowaway in some cargo and equipment, and when it arrived on Guam, they actually got out, and basically there are no predators on Guam. And so this snake, the brown tree snake, Boiga irregularis, basically grew in number, eating up all the native wildlife. Right now on Guam, there's anywhere from 1 to 2 million snakes on Guam alone, and the impacts of that is far-reaching beyond the loss of native species.
What's it like to live on an island with that many snakes? And give us an idea how big Guam is, because I don't know, and I'm sure many people won't. What does that equate to in terms of snake per meter?
Yeah, that would be, well, Guam is an island which is 30 miles long by 7 miles wide at its widest. And so that's a very small amount of area. I believe the numbers are anywhere from like 12,000 per square acre. Yeah, it's very, it's interesting because if you ask the normal person, they will probably say, oh, we've only seen 1 or 2 in our lifetime. And that's absolutely true because these snakes are nocturnal. They are hard to see. Their coloration allows them to, be kind of cryptic, and they do move fast. So if you don't look in the right time of night, in the right place, and you don't know what you're looking for, you will not see them. But even saying that, there are a lot of impacts that snake has had. If you experience brownouts or blackouts on Guam, it could be because of the snake, because they do climb very high. Lots of people, especially if you have prey items in your backyard, like chickens or even small puppies or kittens, they will come into your yard and take those out. So the potential for being bit by a brown tree snake could be relatively high depending on where you live. But like I said, most of the time you will not ever see it. So it is still a very nice place, although when you go out into our forest, you will notice several different things. You will not hear any birds. It is very silent. You will see and probably walk into many cobwebs because we do have lots of spiders because we don't have any birds to eat the insects and the spiders. And you will notice that our forests are somewhat monotypic, meaning the trees are in only one kind of tree. And so those are all things that the snake has actually caused secondarily.
And I mean, we laugh about it in a way, don't we? And it's one of these stories that you read. I read it on Chris, and I was like, wow, and they had some pictures, and you think, God, this is crazy. But actually, it's terribly sad, isn't it, what's happened? I mean, in a sense, we're lucky it happened on an island, because it's been an absolute catastrophe.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I mean, it's very lucky that at this point in time that the brown tree snake is only majoritively found on Guam, because there is that potential for this invasive snake to go out throughout the region. Guam is a hub of Micronesia, and so many planes and people and boats come in every day, and without the help of our cooperators in the local and the federal agencies, this snake could possibly go out there. So our cooperators help us to contain the snake so it doesn't cause degradation anywhere else in Micronesia or even as far afield as the US.
And I suppose because we're human, there's always that temptation to meddle. Can you introduce something higher up the food chain to get rid of the snake?
That has always been the question, and right now in time, we're not looking at that. We are looking at other mechanical means. There is the possibility that we would use some sort of toxin, but the toxin would be acetaminophen, a baby dose of acetaminophen is good enough to kill that snake. But of course, what's also important is that even if we do those sort of measures, that we have community support so that those measures are actually maintained so that we don't ever have to do this again. We don't ever have to go through this again because we do have community support and it will be sustained after.
And what for you, very briefly, what is the takeaway message from this, apart from don't introduce brown snakes into a small island, but on a serious note, because I think this is joking aside, a really serious issue. What's the kind of takeaway message from this?
Yeah. Invasive species are incredibly harmful to the ecosystem and to people. It hurts livelihoods, it hurts native species, and so if it can be stopped before the problem, then that's what you should do. If it is identified before it actually blows into a large problem, that's what needs to happen. So if you can help your local agencies or even national agencies, regional agencies that are working on biosecurity measures, such as the Micronesian Biosecurity Plan where I live, those will all go to helping sustain ecosystems and wildlife for years to come.